Emmanuel?
I would say the Torch, only because I like how much of a simple character he is. Like right before he, flames on, he's just like, "Oh, I told you that there was one other thing I liked besides, cars," and then he just bursts through it and everything.
I love that.
I thought he was going to say girls. I thought he was going to, because he's a ladies' man.
He's my favorite character, just for the fact that he's kind of going with the flow. He didn't really seem to hung up on the fact that he's no longer your average human, and now he has these powers. He seems to actually enjoy it.
Well, to be fair, I was gonna say the Torch, but now I feel like it's a little
copied off of
Yeah, so
well, you can tell us why you like the Torch.
No, the Torch is awesome.
I think the thought of being able to like fly and then just turn into fire directly and just not be like physical or like solid, I guess, is kind of cool. I also have to agree with Jack and say the Thing is actually really probably one of my favorites. I'd say that's because like his art style is the coolest out of all of them, at least for me personally. And then I know later on, as it was also mentioned, he does get like happier, he does get cooler, he gets funnier. So I think that's also that personality trait is nice as well.
He becomes more charming, I feel.
Yeah.
The villain of this piece is the Mole Man. I love the design of Mole Man. Me being a big monster fanatic, my biggest, most fun thing is the fact that Mole Man has his own monster island, that in some cases they actually call it that. I love the character. I love his hench monsters. What do you think about the Mole Man, Shades?
Silly. The Mole Man is silly. He's a silly character, okay? I can understand his place. I see why you like him. I think he's very silly. But I think there's a Mole Man in all of us. We all want to crawl away to the bottom of the earth when people hurt our feelings. We all feel like life is against us. We all want to get away from it all and then stumble upon something that's going to give us the power to get revenge.
Especially on obnoxious guys fixing their ties. With
obnoxious guys or jerks in school, And, but
I know how to get revenge. I'll just have Ryan slug him.
Now, my perspective, I do not like Godzilla. I know we all love him. I don't like Godzilla movies. I don't like the monster movies. They're so silly. And so Mole Man is the epitome of silly. He is a silly character. Sorry, Jack, but he is a silly man with silly power. And what is his powers anyway that he could see? Oh, yes, that's right. He's Daredevil. He was in the darkness. Now he has like a radar sense. Which, by the way, does that precede Matt Murdock?
Yes.
So you see how
Daredevil mimicked him.
So Stanley's mind is going to a radar sense.
And it may be the same radiation that affects his Harvey Elder that it affected Daredevil.
Harvey Elder.
Harvey Elder is the Mole Man.
Harvey Elder, see, that's how much I love him. I don't even know what his name is. But you're saying that radiation affected the Mole Man?
Yes.
Why?
Because he was underground. You saw that Valley of Diamonds?
The diamonds, yeah.
It's supposed to be irradiated. That's where the lights...
See, I would think inside the Earth would be the one place you don't have to worry about radiation. So that's just me.
Well, there is a molten core there, I guess.
Shrink this.
So, all right. So, Emmanuel, what do you think of the Mole Man? We got 1 for and 1 against. Who are you falling down on?
Thank you.
I thought the Mole Man was a quite sad character and a bit pathetic. I think maybe we already touched on this, where he's the opposite of Ben Grimm, where instead of just kind of accepting the fact that his own looks are out of his control and, people are going to feel about him the way that they do and that there's nothing that he can really do about it. Instead, he wants to take revenge and he wants everyone to suffer and he wants to have that power and to feel like he got his revenge on them and all that kind of stuff. But Ben is the opposite, and he just kind of... He understood in the comic when Reed was talking to him, he was like, yeah, we have to use our powers to help mankind.
Now, Ben had friends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, what if Mole Man had friends?
That's true.
Mole
That's
Man
very
has
true.
Harvey Elder is
He has gargoyles to talk to and
control. He has and they don't really, not very
Mole
good.
Man had to put up with this guy, okay? That right there, that would make you want... Tell me, Ryan,
of course,
this man in the green suit, would you want to blow up the planet because of dealing with that idiot?
Well, you got the girl that blows him off.
Yeah.
You got this guy. You got this guy. All these people that just hate him because he's funny looking, and like we've all been there.
And to be fair, didn't the Thing start out human, right?
The Thing did, yes.
Yeah.
So Mole Man's dealt with it.
Mole Man was dealing with his whole life.
That's true. So is that better or worse, though? Because you have
the Thing had it ripped away from
you
him.
have it ripped away from you, whereas he had... You don't go into what was his mother like, what was,
Right.
Again, a silly character. I don't care. If they discontinue him forever, I won't miss him. I won't even notice.
I love the character, so my question is, Are you for or against? Are you on Shade's side that he sucks, or are you on my side that he's awesome?
I think he sucks only
Heck
because
yeah, yes. Oh.
only
The angels are
because
singing. Oh.
only because he's just so lackluster. Like, oh, cool, you can sense the blow that's coming to you. Oh, you have like radar sense.
Oh
like
boy,
a bat.
you're in danger
Oh my
now. I can only
gosh.
burst into flames.
Yeah.
But I can send giant monsters after you. What do you want?
Oh, yes,
You know?
really giant monsters. Yes, that makes total sense.
So Ryan, you gonna help me out here, or are you gonna be piling on? It's up to you, buddy.
Put him in a corner.
Before Ryan jumps in, I want to say my favorite villain to this day that crosses Star Wars and all that is Doctor Doom. So you have to understand, I'm comparing, if only subconsciously, everything with my favorite villain, Doctor Doom. Close second would of course be Darth Vader and maybe Agent Smith from The Matrix. But Mole Man is silly. But go on, Ryan. What is it? Don't let us influence you, even though you're crazy if you don't agree with us.
And I'll pay you if you agree with me.
Oh god.
Oh Lord. Well, actually, I'm not too sure. I noticed. I did bring this up earlier. Before we started this, that his story kind of
Gotta go.
is reminiscent of Frankenstein. So, I kind of found that being a little like a little on the odd side, I guess you could say. Because it doesn't. You'd think with him growing up like that he would just kind of learn to deal with it. So
Thank you. Yes, he would learn to deal with it.
exactly. So
But then he wouldn't be a villain.
yeah. So then you wouldn't have the story.
A silly villain.
So the story has to story some way. But I do find him interesting, nonetheless.
All right, so it's 2-2. That means Ryan and I are right.
Here we
go.
Ryan is a weak yes, a soft yes in the affirmative. Just I didn't.
All I said is that means that we're right. All right, folks, that's it for Fantastic Four Report.